What up, though? This is the Awaken Your Best podcast. Pleasure having y'all here for another episode with me, Rasta White, my brother, Terrence Feagin. And
Yeah, yeah.
again, we always got to let y'all know the purpose of this podcast is to help you awaken the best version of yourself. That you that you really want to be, that you that you see in the future, that you dream to be, that's the purpose of this podcast. So if you here, that's our goal. You feel me? So, today's episode, we want to talk about the power of habits, right? A lot of y'all out there, y'all hear, you know, we always hear people talking about how good, develop you some good habits, eliminate your bad habits, and things of that nature. But I still feel like in today's world, habits are still slept on. I
Big
feel
time.
like people don't really know. It's like habits are really that's all successful people really are is just people that have developed good habits. That's like the key to their success really. It ain't about how much talent they got. It ain't about how much drive they got. A lot of times it's simply as your habits and your routine. So me and Terrence gonna dive into that today. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
out the
sir.
gate, Terrence, you got any comments you want to just lead with about habits? Anything, any discoveries you may have?
Yeah, one thing I can say about this is that habits make our world, routines make our world, and a lot of people might even know like what they do on a day-to-day basis, but it's really your habits. Your habits are you, and once you realize like, okay, this habit is causing my life to go in this certain direction, and you change that habit up, then you will start to follow a new path in a new direction. So really, before we jump into all of it, and we're gonna talk about it, if you want your life to go into a new direction, create and form a habit. That's the biggest thing I want to let them boys know.
Bro, absolutely agree, bro. Because I mean, as we've been, throughout our relationship, we done discussed things that we want to implement: reading more,
Yeah.
exercising more, eating healthier foods, right? All of these things are
Talk
habits.
about it. Yeah.
And I want to say, with people out there listening, I would say the biggest dilemma in today's era is that we see all these people with good habits and then we put all that pressure on ourselves and think overnight you need to just become this disciplined person with all these good habits. But that mindset, if you listening to this, is literally, I'm willing to bet my life on it. That's the reason why you don't have the good habits that you want. Mainly
Right.
because you're overthinking it and you putting too much pressure on yourself. So, when it comes to habits, that's our first tip. We're going to tell people you got to learn how to just start small with it.
Hmm.
You got to start small, man. It's habits have to be developed over time. You got to be patient with it. You got to, when you trying to start too big, that be the reason that we fail, right? We trying to do
Right.
too much at once. But when you got a habit, whatever it is, you want to start working out. Okay, cool. You see Terrence, well, he don't really post. He do post workout videos. You see him working out, lifting whatever, and then you think I'm gonna go to the gym every day so I could be like that.
Nah.
Nah, slow down, slow down, bro. That ain't what it is. If you don't go to the gym at all, you should just go to the gym once a week first.
Hmm.
Go to the gym once
Hmm.
a week first. And what's gonna happen is you go to the gym once a week, it's gonna be so easy, you're gonna be like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. But don't be fooled by
Hmm.
that. What you're doing is you're building your mindset. So you go on once a week, cool, it's easy. Cool. Okay, let's turn it to two a week. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. I'm going twice a week. A little bit of a challenge now. Okay, let's do three a week. You feel me? We have to start developing our habits and starting small. And then you ain't gotta,
Hmm.
stop everything else you're doing. If you're a person that like watching TV, you like playing video games, you ain't gotta just go cold turkey and stop all that stuff. No. Continue to be you, live the life that you have, and then start slowly implementing new habits. What you think of that,
Yeah.
brother?
I think that's amazing. I wanted to kind of speak more to that, but I always tell people think big, but it's power in doing small. Of course, your dream is to have a big goals, big, but you're gonna start small in the beginning. And in order to really get yourself to those goals, you have to start piece by piece, build a foundation, brick by brick, 1% better. So how do you get 1% better? By applying, like you said, that same methodology of doing one thing today. Where if it's like say your goal is to read a book a month. Okay, cool. Well, how do you read it? You're not gonna sit there and read 4 or 5 chapters in a night and then you take the next 2 weeks off. I've done that before and you burn yourself out. But what about breaking that book up? 1 page a day or 1 chapter a day or half a chapter a day and then when you look up, that entire book could be finished and you'd be ready for the next one. But it's really about, doing the small things first, doing the hard things and breaking those hard things down into smaller pieces. And you'll start to see over time as you do that, that becomes worth your while. So as Rasta said, start small. Don't look at the whole picture all at once to see how much you can get done quickly. Do it day by day, piece by piece, moment by moment.
Absolutely, bro. And I love that. I don't think I ever heard that together. Think big, but do small. Feel me?
Hmm.
That right there is powerful. Like we want you to think big. We want you to have, you see a skyscraper, cool. Your future is a
Hmm.
skyscraper, but you gotta start with that foundation. You gotta
Hmm.
start laying them bricks. And it's tough because our human nature make us want to do too much real fast because what happens?
Yeah.
You get excited, you get motivated. You got to learn how to
Hmm.
control it though, because that's good that you
Hmm.
pumped up. That's good that you excited. That's great. You just don't want to let that lead you to burnout. And burnout
Right.
is something I'm working on right now. Like I'm speaking from experience.
Bro.
Terrence, man, I bet it's so
Bro,
easy
I'm
to get
burnt.
burned out, man.
Let's talk about that real quick. Like, bro, I'm talking about I came into this year and it's crazy, but it's kind of it relates to habits because I didn't really form the habit. And what I'm talking about is in the terms of social media and posting on Instagram and posting on YouTube. So I came in this year fiery hot, posting every day, multiple times a day, YouTube's weekly podcast. And now we here in March and I'm like, I feel like a creative block right now. And I believe it's one because I thought about the big picture, posting, getting followers, all of that. But I was doing too much at one point in time. And now I'm at a point like, okay, let me take a break. Okay, that break turned into a little longer of a break. And now it's like, okay, I'm trying to look for my creative edge to get back into the game. But really, like my experience from what I'm telling you is that you have to make sure that you're doing the small pieces first and not burning yourself out. So create the habit of doing a little bit at a time. And then, you'll see over time again, it'll just build up.
Agree
What kind of block you
100%.
in right now, brother?
Bro, for me, man, I would say I've been in a more like a cycle of pushing, pushing, pushing lately.
Yeah.
And I've been finding myself
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm gonna just keep pushing. But I notice I'm like, okay, you pushing yourself so hard because you're doing a lot. You feel me? I got a lot of pieces moving. So I'm like, go back to where you were, a month or two ago, where you were just post your video for the day, do your quotes, and take your breaks. That's really for me. The problem for me is not that I got a pretty consistent routine day by day, pretty small habits day by day, but I don't be
Yeah.
wanting to take breaks. I just be going, you feel me? So I'm learning that's also another habit too that we don't think is a good habit, but recharging
Yeah.
and taking breaks is
Yeah. It's,
also a
it's worth
habit.
it.
You gotta treat, yeah, you have to. Like, bro, I'm getting to a point where I'm about to start utilizing the weekends to recharge instead of like, I could work every
Yeah.
day. I
Hmm.
could work 7 days a week, but I'm thinking more Saturday and Sunday. Ease up a
Right.
bit, don't call nobody, don't make no sales calls, you feel me? Work on your
Yeah.
creative stuff at home and just kind of you gotta recharge, y'all. And if you ambitious out there, I know you understand the pain. Like that, don't let your ambition keep you burning yourself out, cause
Hmm.
overall it ain't worth it.
It's not. Yeah. Recharging is so important. Like, man, a lot of times I look at those billionaires and those people who are massively successful, and I think like, did they ever take time off? And some of the cases you'll probably see where they was just so passionate and what they did, and I believe that's because they formed that habit, and it's important to have that habit. But like people break down. We're not machines. Machines even break down. You got to be able to take that time in between, the work that you're driving for and the success that you're driving for. But also, I believe that once you create, do you really want to change your life?
Yeah, I can see it. You watching this podcast, you tuning in, you taking action. I see you. And we truly appreciate you for watching this podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to tune in so you can stay here. We dropping these weekly. We're going to keep doing it, keep dropping, keep learning, keep growing, and helping people like you awaken the best version of themselves. So hit that like, comment, subscribe button. Even hit that bell. I don't even normally say that, but hit that bell, man, so you can constantly get notified. So you can know exactly when we dropping, and you can soak up this knowledge. All right, peace. Get back to the podcast.
The habit, you won't stop thinking about it. For me, like, I've created a habit of working out, and where I don't go more than 1 or 2 days without actually like feeling like I need to go. And that's because I've built the habit up for multiple years. And, I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I'm talking in the terms of just being healthy, being active, being someone who's always thought about exercise. So the habit is there. So what can you do in your daily life in order to form a habit around the successful life that you want to have? A lot of times, like I tell people all the time, like, I built up the habit of, of smoking weed. So that habit, I would do it without even thinking twice. Like, dang, like, why am I doing this right now? I don't even want to. Like, where did it come from? Or like, you can build a habit up of like driving to work every day, working on auto cruise. You just go. You don't even need the GPS anymore. So the habits can always be there. And again, like I told you in the beginning, if you want to change up your life, there's ways to do that. And it's all by understanding what your thoughts are. Because let me say this before I go a little bit into depth, but your thoughts create your habits, And what do I mean by that is that what you habitually think about, you become. What you habitually think about, you do. And what you do often and most of the time creates your habit for yourself. So change up your thoughts, and that'll change up your habits.
Bro, I agree 100%. Thinking, it starts there too with, one habit. Positive thinking is a habit, because negative thinking is a habit.
Negative too.
A lot of y'all got friends and people, you around people. It's so and it's an easy habit to develop. Negative thinking is an easy habit to develop. And what I mean by negative thinking is we all have negative thoughts. But you could be around a person where they default is to see the negative. They default is to see. But on the flip side, if you start practicing positive thinking, not saying the negative thoughts won't be there, but if you start practicing, okay, what's the good in this situation? And the more you practice that, okay, I hear you, bro. I hear the problem, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's the solution though? When you like me, I'm so solution based to where it'd be hard to communicate. If you a husband, you got a wife, you listen, anybody that vent to you, when you solution based, you're not really good at listening because you so focused on, okay, what's the solution to this problem? I don't want to, but I'm learning that it's like, it's a good thing though. I'm like, it's nothing wrong with being solution based. You just gotta, when you develop that habit, bro, it's a blessing. Like you got a habit of, and like Terrence was saying, that's why your thinking, it starts to shape your habits. If you start thinking solution based, now instead of complaining that you want to lose weight or whatever, you'd start thinking about the solutions more. Like, okay, what do I need to do in order to lose weight? Okay, cool, I get it. I'm not happy with whatever, or make more money, whatever it is. What habits do I need to put in place? So I like that you brought that up. Your thoughts is of course number one.
Big time, man. I've noticed a lot of times too, like, in the beginning, I believe before I started reading like books on psychological books, but then also books on the mindset, books on, like the power of the subconscious minds. I didn't really understand that like the way that your life goes is dictated on what you constantly think about. And it wasn't really until I started to read those that I would have number of thoughts just going through my mind that I had no control over. And I would just let it piece, like just come in and piece different things together that I necessarily didn't want to do. But then it was once I started to realize the thoughts that I was having, that's when I started to create the life that I wanted, started to live the life that I want, and I'm still building the life that I want. And I believe it's all due to the fact that I've taken a conscious effort to watch the thoughts that are going through my mind and stop them before I let it impress into my subconscious mind, which is again creating a habit. So if there's anyone out there that's listening and you seriously want to take control over the habits that you do without thinking about it, or if you want to form a new habit, start to just form those new thoughts. As Rasta said, negative thoughts create your world. Positive thoughts are creating your world. All the thoughts that you were saying, whether or not you believe it or not, unless you take a conscious effort to stop believing it or let it impress your emotions, those are forming your world. So again, habits are big, and it really all starts from, it starts from the habits and the things that you thought about. But two, one thing I want to say about this roster is that your environment is impression habits on you, like what you consume, what you eat, whoever you're around, like those are forming your habits. You might not think about it, but like think
Absolutely.
about somebody that lives in Hollywood compared to somebody that lives in the slums. Somebody that lives in the slums is going to have a mindset and have habits of living towards that type of environment. But somebody in Beverly Hills will probably live in a more, environment that's, nurturing, more support, more, resources compared to somebody that lives in a slum. So again, like if you want to change your habits, you may also have to change your environment as well.
Bro, that's a great segue because yeah, your environment is really it makes habits easy and it makes habits hard. Like he
Yeah.
was saying, if you in the slums, I grew up in Detroit, East Side. A
Yeah.
lot of bad habits are easy to form because you just there. You feel me? It's a lot of bad habit. Drinking, smoking, all those things, partying and just doing, mindless. I won't say mindless, but just fun activities that you don't really got to give much thought to. It's easy to do that when you're surrounded by that. But if you're in an environment of people who read, people who work out, people who eat better, once you move to the burbs, you feel me? I
Yeah.
live in the burbs now.
Yeah.
Once you move to the burbs, it make it easier for you to do that. So that also leads me to one of my tips that I wanted to talk about is
Go on,
you
give it
gotta
to him.
learn to make the bad habits hard and make the good habits easy for you.
Bad
And
habits hard and make the
environment,
good habits easy. Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
and
say that one
actually
more
that
time.
ain't you gotta learn how to make your bad habits hard for you to do and your easy habits
Oh,
good and your good habits easy for you to do. You
okay.
feel me? And again, like I got that out of this book. I highly recommend Atomic Habits, by the way.
Oh,
So people won't,
I haven't
you know
read
what I'm
that yet.
saying?
It's
But
good.
yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. It's
Yeah. When
yeah,
you start
it
reading that, that
changed.
might be a new one.
Bro, I read this about sometime last year. I just be reviewing it.
Oh, okay.
But I
Yeah.
read it a while back, bro. I always heard
Okay.
about this book and the book you mentioned, The Power of Habits. Them the
Power
two I
habits, huh?
always heard being referenced. But yeah, so what do I mean by that? Making your bad habits easy is about your environment. So if you get into an
Mm-hmm.
environment where it's hard to drink or it's hard to, you feel me, then it's like it take more out of you to do the bad habit,
Mm.
right? For example, let's say you want to stop eating snacks. You go to the
Mm-hmm.
grocery store, you don't buy no snacks. Now you at home, there's no snacks in your cabinet. You just made it a lot harder for you to get snacks. Now you gotta go out, you gotta go to the store, so it's gonna be a lot easier for you to just be like, I'm gonna just eat those healthy snacks that I bought,
Right.
right? So you just made a
Yeah.
bad habit hard for you. And then you just
Yeah.
made a good habit easy. You wanna start eating healthy snacks. You just put
Mm.
yourself in a position where it's like, bro, I
Yeah.
don't feel like going out. I'm about to just eat this Nutri-Grain bar, man. I don't, so
Yeah. Yeah.
because our
I
human
get it.
nature, right? You feel me? So it's not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
about trying to resist temptation all the time with bad
Mm-hmm.
habits. I'm learning that, like, cause it's only so much you can resist, bro. Like if you in a certain environment, it's only so much you could resist. Like me, I didn't grow up smoking weed a lot, but I did start smoking weed when I was young. Why? Because all my brothers smoke. You feel me? But
Mm.
some way, somehow, God put enough strength in me to not allow it to take over me. But At the end of the day, I still got high a few times simply because I was
Yeah.
around people that was getting high all the time. They made it easy for me. I don't even know how to roll a blunt. I don't know how to roll a blunt,
Yeah.
bro. I don't know. I never bought
Yeah.
weed, but when somebody next to you like this,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
bro,
made it
bro, hit
easy for
this.
you. Yeah. Made
It
it
made it
easy.
easy. Hit this blunt, bro. So
That makes
yeah,
sense.
bro, what you think of that?
Man,
The
that
whole little
it like I wanted you to, reframe it because I didn't really understand what you meant, but now I get it. Like, I was thinking about, a certain situation where if you make if you make your situation easier to form habits, right? That's what you're speaking of. Um, like I would think about something like, what if somebody wanted to get in shape, wanted to start working out, so they went out and they bought a very expensive membership where they like, if I miss, I'm gonna feel bad because I'm spending so much money on this membership, so I have to go, right? So I mean, in a way, I think it would make it easier, but or maybe it would be a pain point to them, like I'm spending so much money, dude, I have to get my money's worth, And I think I was thinking about that as well. But, man, the point that you said is that when you're around a certain environment, it's going to make it a lot easier also to form those habits that you don't want to have. And it's so big, like, man, it really hit me, man. And I was thinking too, like, there's so many different ways that people are affected by other people around them, and they build those habits without necessarily want to have those habits. And it's really like who you're around, like what are
like
they
the
doing?
subconscious. You said they
Yeah.
subconsciously building them. Yep.
Right. Yeah, the environment, like everything is like programming us. And it's like unless you take notice to it, you won't stop it. So you around your homies and they smoking and you like, yo, I don't even like how y'all even get this? Like, where'd it come from? But if it's there and it's easy and it's access to it, then it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a lot easier for you. But man, that's huge, bro. That really had me pondering, like, what am I doing, or who am I around, or what am I consuming that's really forming a habit that I necessarily don't want to have? And I thought about rap music. You know what I mean? I thought
Mm.
about rap music because I'm like, a lot of times I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to it. It ain't doing nothing to me. But then I think about it like, what am I subconsciously doing that I don't know, but it's really, it's bringing another side of me because I'm consuming it. And I started thinking about cussing. Now, don't get me wrong. I know cussing is, I don't think it's a sin. I don't think it's nothing that's crazy bad, but it do show a lack of vocabulary, and that's not of me. Like I
Mm.
read, educated, and it kind of makes you a little less educated and uneducated when you're rapping, when you're cussing a lot. But then like again, I had to think like, man, is this really inducing me to kind of do some of the different cussing or the talking that I'm doing? So I'm gonna stop listening to rap for a little bit, and I'm gonna see if it's gonna work for me. But no, that's dope, bro. I definitely like that.
Bro, that's a perfect segue too, cause when I started
We
going back to
segueing
church, I
out
put
here.
off. Yeah, we keep segueing. I love it. You feel me? When I first started going back to church about 6 months ago, for a while I was like, I'm just gonna stop listening to rap music, and I did. You feel
Hmm.
me? I stopped listening to it. But if y'all know me, if anybody know my background, I made rap music myself, so I have a love
Hmm.
for rap music. So for me, it was hard. I ain't gonna lie, it was hard. And
Right.
as of recently, I just recently started back listening to music I've been listening to. What I
Hmm.
did was at first I just like I'm gonna just play the clean version because I like how you mentioned cussing. I'm like I don't want to cuss, so I've been
Hmm.
playing the clean version. So that's something I've been practicing too because it's like
Hmm.
so yeah I'm with you, bro. I support it. If you take a break from it, you will see. Because I don't cuss
Hmm.
myself no more,
Hmm.
but when I started
That's
back
good.
listening. But this week, I would say I started back listening to the song. Man, I want to listen to it, because I like raw rap. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna listen
Yeah.
to it how I want to listen to it. I've been
Yeah.
noticing my temptation to cuss have gone up. It has
Yeah.
gone up
See.
a little bit. I've been just like, so, bro. I think that's a great point.
Hmm.
It will definitely do that. If you consuming it, your thoughts will start, forming like that.
It's big, bro. Hey, it's a book that I was just telling you before the pod that I read, but it's called The Power of Habits. So I read this back in, like I said, sometime back in the Navy, and I don't know. Since you just thought of this, I definitely want to dive back into this. But what other like resources would you tell people, other than like books or you know, what would you tell other people to to form a habit? What's a good resource for them?
A good resource
Yeah,
besides
to form like
books.
good habits.
Right, good,
I got
good.
one.
Besides books, I mean, if you want to just keep it simple, if you listening, you don't want to read books, I get it. Like I listen to
Hmm.
audiobooks as well because I'm a slow reader myself. So if
Yeah,
you like books, ain't it? YouTube is the way to go. You could simply listen to,
yeah,
just start listening to successful people. That's all they're gonna talk about. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like all
Facts.
they're gonna be mentioning is habits. That's where it started for me at. It started listening to Eric
Hmm.
Thomas, Jim Rohn, you feel me? All of the top
Yeah,
dogs, Bob Proctor, you feel me? You
yeah.
listen to guys like that, they gonna mention habits. They gonna start talk about, yeah, you just gotta, so I would say that.
Yo,
And that,
thank you
that's
for
a
tuning into this podcast right now. I want to say if you like this, make sure that you subscribe and like the video. Comment down below what you like so far. Of course, we're bringing these podcasts to you all the time, and we just want to continue to grow. So you can actually help us to grow by commenting down below, liking the video, and also subscribing. Tell a friend to tell a friend all about this podcast, and we'll see y'all real soon. Let's get
start
back
talking
to the
about,
video.
yeah, you just gotta, so
Man,
I would say
yeah,
that.
man.
And that's another way, like starting simple. If you wanna start, if you don't like reading books, don't worry about reading books right now. Just start with listening to healthy content on YouTube. That's a lot easier. You feel me?
Yeah, no, most definitely. That was you kind of pretty much said what I was gonna say is that, reading books, yeah, that's one way to get information, but being in proximity with people who have good habits, like getting them to be your mentor or getting a coach, someone that can help you identify the different issues that you have is the biggest way to change and influence your subconscious, in order to
Oh, I
replace
like a
those bad habits
coach.
with good habits.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
want to say real
yep,
quick too. Now that you
yeah,
thought, I just thought about it. It's a guy. His name is Jose something, but his channel is Teaching Men Fashion. Teaching Men Fashion, so it's more for men. But a lot of his videos be like 7 bad habits you need to stop immediately, or 6 good habits to blah blah blah. He talk a lot about habits. So if you a guy out there and you want like some type of, you feel me, he's a hard charging guy. You can check out his
yeah.
channel too. My channel as well. You feel me, Rasta White. I talk about everything that I've learned as well. So but yeah, so resources like that, just listening to people. And when you watch YouTube videos, you consume it better. For me personally, because you see the pictures, it's more entertaining. It's just a lot easier to get it in your system when you do it that way. So
Big time.
yeah, bro,
So
highly
there,
highly
there's
recommend that.
So there's one habit that I'll say that everybody should form when it comes to, being successful. Because this podcast is about awakening the best version of you. And I'll definitely say this is that you have to, one, I would say, take responsibility for your life. Like take responsibility and that's pretty much just saying this is that when you mess up or you do the wrong thing or you're doing the right thing, take responsibility for it. And when you create that habit within you, you you're really, you're creating a new self-being. You're creating a new individual because when you take responsibility, again, like you're taking the fact that you are the creator for your life. You are the person that is in charge of your life. And if you say somebody else is the reason for why something is happening in your life, then that is wrong, because no outside force should be able to negatively affect you and change your emotions unless you let them. What I'm saying is this, is that if you get into a car accident and you're upset because that person hit you, yeah, it's a car accident, but at the same token is that don't let that change your emotions to blow up and to make something, to happen. Yeah, it may be the responsibility of somebody else that they hit you, but take responsibility that you have control of your emotions, that you are not going to let outside forces to really take control over you. So that's the biggest actual habit that I'll say that most people should take responsibility of. And it's a lot of great habits that you can form in order to really become who you are and to awaken the best version of you. Rasta, what would be a habit that you would say would be very beneficial for other people, or a habit that you've created for yourself that you would actually want other people to do as well?
Bro, firstly, I completely agree that that's a habit that's one of those foundational habits, I would say. Like if you can learn how to start blocking that negative outside forces, by default, you'll start gravitating more towards positive forces.
Yeah.
And I would say, bro, a habit I also believe is everyone needs. We all need. If you got a human brain, you need this habit. A simple one, but meditation. You
Yeah,
need you
big
need
time.
to have it. Like, as a matter of fact, I like it the other word. A lot of people call it mindfulness. I like that word more because meditation, I ain't talking about just you need to sit there for 30 minutes and you need to try to float up out into the abyss. I ain't talking about that. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
I'm talking about mindfulness where it's just about, you feel me? Where it's more about just getting in the present moment for even 30 seconds to a minute. Feel me? Just deep breaths and just like focusing on your breath, chilling. It ain't that deep. Like, we ain't gotta make it that deep, and it ain't gotta be for that long. You could do it for 3 minutes, if you could do it for 5 minutes. But finding that time in the dark, and if you want to take it like me, I go in a dark room and I turn on some white noise and I try to listen to that sound. I just listen to the white noise. My brain, of course, it keep taking me places, but I keep, coming back, living in the now for a minute. Because it's so easy to stop. You won't realize you could spend half of your day, if you anything like me, you spending half of your day not in the present. You just thinking about the future and your goals and what's next, but you're not spending much time just. So, yeah, bro, that's a habit I've been practicing, and I could say it's like a refresh. It's a restart. Every time I do it, I feel like I restart.
Love that, man. Definitely love that. So, yo, use these habits, use this podcast as a tool to awaken your best version of you. Of course, we're coming out every Sunday with this information. Yo, we are, we're here to help. We're here to mentor. We're here to inspire you. Make sure you check out Rasta's page, Rasta White on YouTube. Make sure you check out this page, subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you think about it. Again, we are here to help you to grow, and also we growing ourselves. So, we a partnership, we a teamwork. So keep coming back. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure that y'all tune in next week. Rasta, you got anything else to say, my brother?
Man, that's it. I love what you said. For real, we here to help y'all start developing those habits. If you listen to this whole thing, you are already developing a good habit, putting positive stuff in your head. So we salute you for that. And yes, we do love y'all. We'll see y'all next week. We out.
Peace out.